Hey, it's Roller Coaster Rider here, and I'm gonna do a Saturday morning cartoon review. I got this, and I'll show you a pic. Warner Brothers presents Saturday Morning Cartoons 1960s Volume 1. I'm gonna review each show and give you a quick thought about it. So, yeah, we've got 12 shows, so let's get going. I have no idea the order, or I do know a little bit about some themes that might happen, but that's about it. So get your popcorn, get your Pop Tarts, get a bunch of soda, and wipe the sand out of your eyes because you're up early and it's Saturday morning cartoon time. Rosie the Robot with the Jetsons. Jane does points exercising, Judy tricks her dad into letting her go to Acapulco, Elroy doesn't want to go to school, and George and Jane complain about the food machine, and Jane talks to the person higher than George, her mother, and she suggests a robot maid. All the while, Mr. Spacely invites himself to dinner, and it ends with a pie in the face. They get a free trial for one day about if they want to keep their new maid, Rosie, and if you've seen the Jetsons, you know that they decide to keep her. This is the pilot and it aired on September 23rd, 1962. Warning, I am not an anime fan. Battle to Save the World by Marine Boy. This show has some of the worst, most mediocre animation of the entire collection of cartoons that I've seen so far. And, spoiler alert, out of all the cartoons on the 1960s volumes 1 and 2, this is by far my least favorite, and it has the worst animation. The mouths don't even move accordingly. The animation pauses for various reasons. Some of the animation is looped. The dialogue isn't really that funny. The show feels more like a Gene Deitch, Tom and Jerry, or Filmation cartoon compared to the more bright and beautiful Hanna-Barbera. The show appears to be a Japanese import and animated by Seven Arts Animation, known for the lower tiered bad Looney Tunes cartoons. The show moves very slowly, even compared to 1960s TV animated programs. The Jetsons moved, Flintstones moved, Top Cat moved. This drags. There is also a dolphin named Slasher. The show was made in 1968, and that's all I can say. There is a lot of piano organ music, so I'll give it that. Even the fighting is slow and half-attempted. The plot revolves around a volcano. Space Ghost! And Dino Boy. The series is very similar in more than a few ways to Star Trek, which is odd considering how the show aired 2 days later. On the pilot from 1966, a lava monster attacks the planet of Jupiter, and so Jan, Jace, Bleep, and Space Ghost have to destroy it. Disclaimer, I've never been a huge fan of straightforward action cartoons, although I did watch SWAT Cats years ago. Dino Boy in the Lost Valley. The dinosaur sounds like Scooby-Doo, and the caveman reminds me of one of those costumes from Scooby-Doo. In the episode The Worm People, a tribe of worm-like creatures captures Dino Boy, and Ugg must plan a rescue from giant man-eating beetles. In Zorak is looking for revenge and abducts Jan and Jace and uses them as a bargaining tool. Space Ghost has to outperform essentially giant wasps and a timed explosive rocket. Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossibles. The Impossibles, which remind me of a male superhero Josie and the Pussycats, has the bubbler kidnapping the Shah of Shish Kebab, and it's up to the Impossibles to rescue him, ending with a game of tennis. Wouldn't surprise me if the show was inspired by the Beatles. In the Frankenstein Jr. episode, Dr. Shock uses his Master Mix monster machine to turn his assistant Igor into an electricity-absorbing monster. Kinda sounds like Nuclear Man from Superman 4. The ending might leave you a little cold. The Impossibles return in The Spinner, where the Spinner, essentially a human spider, steals an umbrella and it's up to the Impossibles to get it back and put him in prison. Take a sip every time you hear or see the word the Impossible. Water, of course, or milk or juice. It's the Magilla Gorilla Show! Gridiron Gorilla involves Magilla Gorilla being hired to be a football player until they sadly find out his weakness. In Pumpkin Puss and Mushmouth, Puss shrinks to the size of a mouse with giant-sized problems. In Ricochet Rabbit and Droop Along Dog, bing, bing, bing! JP Nugget hires Ricochet and Droop Along to keep hold of the gold from AJ. Quick Draw McGraw. Dough Nutty has Uggy Duggy and Duggy Daddy. Finding a money-making machine owned by Crooked Lefty. What follows is Augie having a circus of a time with Lefty. And El Kabong was wrong! He accidentally helps little guy Cactus Cecil make off with a bunch of money. Of course, El Kabong figures out the truth with typical Hanna-Barbera wackiness. And Jam Jam, Snooper, and Blabber are riding bikes while they pay off their new cop car. They then arrive at a mansion with a millionaire whose diamond collection is being stolen piece by piece. They figure out the butler did it in a sneaky little way, and for the next 6 weeks do either that or go to the dogs. All three of these aired September 15th, 1961. Oh man, that was awesome. I can't wait for next Saturday. What? Mom! Now I have to go do some chores. See you next time. See you next time, buds. With more Saturday morning cartoons.